Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hour of Power podcast. My name is Knighton, and as always, I am joined by Trey.
Oh, no intro this week. I see how it
Yeah,
is.
I ain't got
Because
the
we're doing
energy.
it early in the morning or kind of early.
I haven't had my fucking coffee this morning, dude.
Get your coffee
I'm
while
lazy.
we're
I'm
doing the podcast.
drinking Coca-Cola. It's good enough for government work.
Ooh, Coca-Cola.
You put the lime in the coconut and shake it all about.
I haven't drank. I've been trying not to drink any sodas to try to decrease my belly fat before I go to
Yeah.
the beach.
Well, I don't have to worry about that because I don't live near any beaches. So you know what? I'm staying in shape. Round.
Have you ever been to a beach?
Yeah, I've been to Jack's Beach. When I lived in Florida for a couple months back in 2016, or I shouldn't even say a couple months. It was like 3 weeks. Uh, got woke up by my grandfather at like 5:30 in the morning. He goes, "All right, let's go to Jack's Beach," and he lived like 40 minutes away. It's like, dude, it is 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, if we don't get down there by like 7:30, we're not getting a parking spot. Sure enough, 7:30 hit. We were walking around on the beach, and yeah, it filled up pretty quickly.
Huh. Well, it is a destination yearly for me. I have to have my beach therapy, and something about that ocean smell. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but there's like this
Vaguely.
smell in Florida when you get close to the ocean, and it's really just unbelievable. It's divine.
Fuck. You know, if we could have consistent weather, I think it would be great. What is it? In the last 2 days, we've had a temperature differential of about 57 degrees.
Well, that's not too bad.
Tuesday it was 74 or 71 degrees outside, and Wednesday it was like 21.
Yeah, that's well, not that drastic, but I thought it was pretty drastic when we went from like being 71, 72 degrees, I think 75 even maybe Tuesday, and then just like boom, the temperature just dropped dramatically. Words are hard for me this morning, apparently too.
It's a running theme.
This is
We're just gonna stumble over our fucking words.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into this episode. You know what? This was actually a very interesting episode. It was nice to see the original openings of how it was on YouTube compared to let's just pull the second promo and use that as our intro. I like the storytelling aspect of these intros, and when I had saw, because I had stepped away because I figured, you know what, they're just gonna do a promo, so I'll just walk away and watch it later. And then I was watching the subtitles. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I rolled it back. I was like, oh yes, I like this. I'm happy.
Yeah, I like that too about it. But I thought this was a great episode as far as like building up newer, younger talent.
Mm-hmm. So let's start in with the matches. You got match number 1, Blake Troop versus Joe Alonzo. Joe is a Chicago guy, and he's really good at smack talk, but it seems to be he's not very good at backing it up.
Well, I thought kind of the exact opposite in this match. He kind of impressed me in this match, even with a loss, because like you said, he's great at talking smack. He's great at talking crap to the fans. I'm actually kind of watching it in the background as we talk about it, and he's like right in this woman's face. And then he flips this guy off to the point where his finger, I think, grazes the dude's forehead. So Joe Alonzo, something about him, he's got a natural charisma. He's a great heel, and he's great in ring, man. And man, to me, he's great at selling. Big in the territory system right now, or independent scene right now, as well. I believe he recently won the top title in one of the organizations. I can't think of the name of it. It's an independent organization, but either way, this guy's got a ton of talent and a lot of potential. And yeah, I was still impressed even with his loss against Blake Troop.
And I wasn't saying that in a negative connotation of like, oh,
Yeah,
he's trash. No, he's just like
character
talked a
wise,
lot of smack. Yeah, talked
right.
a lot of smack and got his ass handed to him. But that's the role he's filling, and it worked very well. But it's like, as an outside fan, you'd be like, well, he's talking a lot of shit, but he's getting his ass beat.
So they've been kind of halfway in, halfway out with pushing Blake Troop, I feel like, as just a viewer watching week to week. This week, they presented him as a face. A lot of times he's kind of presented as a heel,
Mhm.
but I like the gimmick. I think it's really cool. It's kind of got a street fighter type MMA fighter. Obviously that's his background is MMA fighting, but it it just has a really cool feel. It's a cool gimmick. He looks like a badass. He's got a great look. Um, if you're gonna go all the way, this guy, let's go all the way a little bit as
Mm.
far as like had him lose to I believe Jax Dane at Salwin in that
Yep.
I Quit match. So that being said, this is a great new young talent. He's got a great gimmick, a great look, and Joe Alonso does too. Two great talents that they showed off in this match, and they gave the win to Blake Troop, who they continue to kind of push a little bit here and there.
Yeah, because I mean, like in this match, Blake was using a lot of his background to keep Joe down, not letting him gain control. But Joe has to use a bit of a dirty. I mean, granted, it's not really that dirty of a tactic, but if you were to look at it in a multitude of ways, you could see it as a dirty tactic by using the ropes to gain the advantage in the way that he did. Then hitting Blake with forearms, but just Joe would get in shots here and there, but Blake held majority of the control up until Joe started focusing that knee. Once Joe started focusing that knee, he gained control for actually quite a bit of time in this match. Especially that dragon screw when Blake was caught up in the rope
Yeah.
in the corner. Jesus. Ouch. I was like,
And Lonzo's is, he's quite a bit smaller than Blake Troop, so you have to kind of work around that as far as like normally the face is the smaller guy and the heel is the bigger guy.
mhm.
So Alonzo doing a great job as being a heel, but being the smaller guy and kind of having to use a little bit of dirty tactics here and there, somewhat dirty tactics here and there.
Yeah,
Try-
and it works. It really
right.
does. I mean, like a good spot in the match was when Joe went high risk, but gets slammed for his troubles, and then they start working a little bit more, and then Joe attempts for his finisher, it gets reversed, and then it was just a reversal back and forth between both Blake and Joe. Then Joe tries to hit a springboard, but gets just rocked.
Right. Yeah.
And
And,
oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that both these guys work their asses off, and I mean, I've been very impressed with this week's episode because they push younger talent, and this is their better of their younger talent, I would say. But this match I'm watching right now, and a good little back and forth. But man, I really love the MMA style that Blake Troop kind of brings to the table as well.
Hmm. And I think he could go further as well. They just need to be a little more consistent with him. He's a great talent. He's okay on the mic. That's why he's got Chris Silvio Esquire with him. And Chris is just phenomenal on the mic.
Absolutely phenomenal on the mic. I love this guy. He could be a character on The Sopranos. Love
Dude,
it.
are you reading? I think you're reading my mind.
Really? Did you
Yep.
think that too?
God, yeah. Like the first time I saw him cut a promo when you and I were discussing, starting this podcast, and we were like, hey, let's watch a couple weeks, get familiarized with some of the characters and some of the talent. And I just was like, Silvio could be in an episode of The Sopranos.
Yeah, it was that promo he had against Jax Dane where it kind of told their history. and everything. I think that's when I was like, oh man, this guy's great.
Yep.
And yeah, I could see him on The Sopranos just being like, so what's the deal? You owe all this money and you're not gonna pay it back? You're gonna borrow all this money and not try to pay us back? I could just see him just going off like that. That was a terrible impression. But
Listen here, you fucking cocksucker. I ain't fucking dealing with your shit. You're gonna pay me back my money and you're gonna move on with your life. All right? Understand that.
capiche.
Forget about it. But Blake, once Blake rocks Joe off the springboard, Blake locks in the bulldog choke, and Joe is passed out. And the match was called due to referee stoppage, but your winner is Blake Troop. It was a very good opening match. It was better than last week's, I will say.
Continue to sing the praises of their location. It's just a really cool feel. I don't know why I've always been a fan of I guess shows taking place at like somewhat bar arenas. I'm not saying bar wrestling. Bar wrestling is usually fans right on the ring, and yes, the audience is very close to the ring, but it had a really cool feel, man, with the bar there and the LED lights everywhere, and the crowd felt pretty close to the ring, but not too close. If you look at around the ring is very, very small. So some of the dives and stuff get on to the bar or the guardrails and stuff, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. I like it's just a really cool setting and a cool arena that they went to. And this is actually where CCW, I'm sorry, films their stuff and does their stuff.
I did not know that. Because I know that like they had done that show in tandem with CCW, so I was like,
Well, I speculated it last week, and then this week he pulls up the ring apron, and you can see the CCW ring apron underneath it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yep. Yeah, that slipped my mind. But let's move on, good sir. We got a lot to cover. There's a lot of good there's only one promo in this show, but there's a lot of good matches in this show. So promo number 1. There we go. Fuck. Austin Idol is playing mind games with the Kazanas by bringing back Anthony Andrews. I didn't know a lot about him, and I had to do a little bit of research, him teaming with AJ, being a former United States tag team champion, and them losing at NWA 75 caused that little rift, and they split, went their own ways, and that was the last of that anybody had seen Anthony Andrews up until this episode. And Austin Idol's going to continue to show as to why that Austin Idol, Zion, and Anthony Andrews are the best and better than the Kazanas, because the history books don't lie. And then Austin talked a little bit about his history in pro wrestling, with working with Jerry Lawler in the Mid-South Coliseum and whatnot.
Right.
And then Anthony states, AJ tried to replace the best with KC, and Anthony just kind of scoffed at it. It was a little bit of an awkward ending in my mindset. But I mean, the promo was decent. It got the job done, and it got what needed to get across. So
yeah, apparently I guess he's cousins with AJ Kazanin is what I'm gathering. And yeah, they had a fallout at 75. And yeah, this promo was fine. Austin Idol, always great on the mic, always talking his shit. And yeah, we kind of got a backdrop for the main event, the Country Gentlemen, and the history they have with their opponents. So yeah, I want to know about Zion or
Zion.
Zion, I mean. So he is supposed to be whose son?
It's supposedly Austin Idol's illegitimate son.
Okay. All right. That's all. I thought in commentary I heard it wrong, and I didn't rewind it back, but I could have sworn they said he was the illegitimate son of Joe Kazana, and I was like, what? I was like, I thought it was Austin Idol. But anyway, okay. All right. I'm
Nope.
just sure I got that straight.
Yep.
Okay.
So match number 2, and oh god, this and the main event were my favorite matches of the
I
night.
fucking love this guy's gimmick.
So
Sleazy fucking carnival piece of shit magician. So I mean, like,
I wouldn't call him a piece of shit. I love Magic Dick
like
Demas.
character wise, that's what I'm saying. I'm like singing his praises. This guy's fucking great.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you noticed this. So for anyone that had closed captions on, because I'm partially deaf, so I tend to have them on. It doesn't matter what I'm watching, and it pisses my girlfriend off to no end. It's like I
The
need them on.
I read it the other day. There's a study out that says Generation Z prefers subtitles on when they're watching stuff.
Yeah,
And
because I just can't.
my wife can't. She says she cannot watch anything with subtitles because all she does is just stare at the subtitles the entire time. Me, I don't care either way. I'm good.
But this was actually quite interesting. So they must have filmed this match before the women's 6 person tag team match. The
Ah,
reason why I say this, if you didn't have closed captionings on, you would have missed some comments made by Joe Galley. Because it kind of has like an awkward ending. He goes, he doesn't have his tag team partner, and then it just goes to silence for
ah.
like about 6 to 7 seconds. But here's the full thing: Jake doesn't have his tag team partner, the Barker, Cody James. He does not have his lovely assistant CJ, as CJ is preparing for the 6-woman tag team match to determine the number 1 contender for the women's world title.
Botch.
And then it strangely comes back in where they're like, "Oh yeah, we want to see CJ." And I wouldn't even say that's a botch. They were just filming things and they didn't know how they were going to structure it or
Yeah.
order it, and
Oh, I mean, that's a very nitpicky thing. I didn't
yeah,
even pick it up. I didn't even pick it up.
yeah, it was only if you had closed captionings on, that was the only way you were going to notice it. And I just thought it was neat. Granted, I'm always into like the little Easter eggy kind of things, and
We could
I
always
thought that was one
if
of
she
them.
was busy getting hair, her hair done or whatever, makeup, perhaps.
But this match, I'm gonna tell you, dude, Jake and Alex were both houses on fire. Jake just comes billowing right in, just starts beating the shit out of Alex Misery when he's in the corner. Um, Alex avoids getting slammed into the corner by Jake. Alex hits a damn solid Hurricane Rana. Uh, they were just kind of all over the place in the ring, outside the ring. Um, a couple of good spots. Alex goes for oh, excuse me. I'm stupid. Jake whips Alex into the ropes, but earlier they were trying to fight back and forth of who was actually going to get the Irish whip off. Alex hits the ropes. Jake goes to catch him, but it
Yeah,
kind of gets a little messed up.
that was a botch, but I love how they recovered from it very very well and turned it into a spot with
Yeah,
the
like if you weren't being super critical, you would have been like, "Oh, Jake screwed up trying to get him, and Alex gained advantage and got him in the guillotine." But yeah, I mean, for us marks, you could call us. Yeah. But you know what? It was smooth, and I was like, I don't hate this at all. I actually like it.
No, yeah, I liked it too.
But yeah, Jake gets out of the guillotine, just lands a nasty spine buster on Alex. Um, gets a good choke in, but releases it before the count of 5. Uh, let's see here. So yeah, they fight for a little bit more. Uh, Jake gets up on the top rope with Alex. Alex knocks him down. He hits the apron. Jake hits the floor. Alex then climbs into the crowd, and is hyping up the crowd, whatnot, and just flies through the air. And they hit the barricade. And I was like, "Ooh, that sounded like that hurt a bit."
Yeah, this was
But
really a really good matchup, man, and this is one of those I just wasn't really looking forward to that much until I started watching it. And that happens a lot on Power, because I don't know the talents very well, and or I've never even heard of them or whatever the case. And then I watch it and it's like, wow, that was really good. That was impressive.
So when the whole Paranoia tapings got announced, I had actually received a message from Alex. Ow.
Whoa.
I'd received a message from Alex on Instagram via the Hour of Power podcast Instagram, and
Mhm.
he had shared the matchup screen that him and Jake were going to have a match, and I was actually looking forward to this match. And I will say, neither of these competitors disappointed. I need a fucking drink. Give me a second.
Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah, this was it didn't disappoint, and I really like the fact that he's kind of going out on his own and doing a little singles run as well. I'm sure he'll get back with his partner. They were definitely a face tag team, I would say, especially going against Blunt Force Trauma later in the year of later last year.
Mhm.
But yeah, this was cool. I like how he goes on the barricade and does the back or not backflip, front flip. He actually kind of runs on the barricade, jumps on the kind of runs across the ropes and turnbuckle and does it. And it's such a very, very small area, like you said. Like it's just it was a good match, man. It really, really surprised me.
Mhm. And
And I like the over the top gimmick that Alex has. It's really, really cool.
but I mean, my favorite spot of the match was the towards the ending. Alex runs off the ropes, goes for another Hurricane Rana, but gets caught. And Jesus, Jake sets him up for the abracadabra, and as soon as Jake caught him, I was like, "Oh, this is the end." He's going for the abracadabra. Sure enough, calls it, and I thought he's gonna go for straight for the pin. Takes off his straps, and
When you
Jake
talk
does
about a
fine.
guy like really knowing his gimmick and it just being a very over the top, it reminds me of one of those old school 90s gimmicks, from WWE mid 90s, but not, not in a bad way. You had some really bad shit like TL Hopper, but you also had a Doink the Clown, which the evil Doink the Clown was a fantastic gimmick. And this is what the gimmick reminds me of, not Doink the Clown per se, but just the over the topness of it and him being just looking like a dirty carnival guy, magician from a carnival with the top hat and everything. So great, great character, man. And I mean, yeah, I've seen the tag team several times, but this presentation of him being, playing the heel was just a little bit. It just hit just a little bit different than the tag team, which I do love the tag team as well.
Yeah, I love the tag team. I like Cody, James, I like CJ, but really Jake has been within his own and he has shown off very well, and I've enjoyed Jake's work because I've also been able to see him elsewhere, and goddamn, Jake is just, if you want someone to put out a damn good match, give Jake a call. He'll definitely do it. He's able, and Alex in the same right. Jesus, that man can do whatever you need to do, and he's just right there.
Right.
This was a very, very solid match, but
I would like to
um,
need to have him on sometime.
yeah, I'd like to have both of them on. I'd like to have Jake, and I'd like to have Alex.
Yeah, that would be great. I know AJ of the Country Gentleman. I was thinking about having on, who I've been in contact with, working with a little bit here and there with JCP, NWA territory in East Tennessee.
Mhm.
But yeah, go ahead. I guess that kind of segues into the next.
I'm actually going to stop you right here. We're going to take a quick little break. I need to go get something to drink and sort this fucking cough out. So just give me a minute. I will.
Commercial break.
Dun, dun, dun. Night and can't speak. All right, I'll be back. All right, and we are back. Sorry about the little bit of a delay. We're going to continue on with match number 3, which is the Country Gentlemen AJ and Casey Kazana, Jesus, with Joe Kazana versus Scion and Anthony Andrews with Austin Idol. Uh, what did you know what? I'm gonna let you go first on this one. What did you think of this, Trey?
I like this match, and I think this is something cool that could bleed over into their territory system with JCP, um, and having maybe Austin Idol come in with his illegitimate son and continue this feud between the cousins, AJ and oh my God, I'm having a brain fart.
Anthony Andrews.
Anthony Andrews, yes. So yeah, I like it a lot, and I love the whole um, rivalry with Joe Kazana and Austin Idol. Also, I was very much impressed, way more from the last Country Gentleman match as far as KC. I thought he flew around the ring, especially when he got a hot tag. He was flying around the ring. I thought he kind of shined in this match. AJ always great in the ring, especially AJ's a big boy, can move around very quick for his size. So I thought the Country Gentleman had a great outing compared to the last match I saw him in, which was against Blunt Force Trauma. You're a little bit limited there because it is Blunt Force Trauma. So it was just a lot of what are the kids calling it today? Meat slapping meat, something weird.
Big meaty men slap, bumping meat.
Okay, yeah, it was one of those type matches. So this one was moving around a little bit more. Pieces. I really like the whole story between the cousins and them not getting along and splitting up back at 75. So now he's got the younger kid in with KC coming in, and he's he can move around a lot quicker than some of the other guys. So yeah, I like this match and I like the feud, and I would love for them to implement this in JCP. Now I haven't watched the season premiere of JCP, but I'm going to very soon. Might even do a review myself, even if it is just myself on here. I'm anxious and interested to kind of see what they've got. Supposedly, they've put it all over their social media. You won't be disappointed, kind of deal with me doing some of the graphics for one of their shows back on February 9th. I'm kind of interested to kind of watch them a little bit and see what they're all about. Obviously, Billy Corgan wouldn't just choose anybody. He chose Exodus because EC3 runs that. It's in Cleveland, Ohio, great wrestling town. So I want to see what JCP can bring to the table. And this is when I saw this kind of made me interested in checking that out, seeing if there was any kind of I don't know, follow through for the NWA angle. I would love to see it continued on there.
I think they could definitely make it work in Joe Kazana Promotions because not only is the owner of the promotion involved in this story, but the two biggest talent in there besides the world champion, which is Throwbilly Silas Mason. But you have such opportunity with all of this, not only bleeding into or continuing on in the normal NWA, but also bleeding into Joe Kazana Promotions. And I just think you can take this further than one might expect. Because, I mean, hell, you could do a singles match with Anthony and KC. You could do a singles match with Anthony and AJ. You can do a singles match. You can do a tornado tag. You can do whatever. Hell, if you're really booking for I shouldn't even say a marquee, but like an attraction.
Yep.
Throw the two throw Austin, throw Joe in. Have them go at it for like 5 minutes or so.
Lots of combinations you can do, and them getting the stereotypical sleazy win with pulling the tights and the interference side. I thought that was a nice, kind of old school, dusty type finish. And a lot to build off there with the Country Gentlemen getting their revenge back on Austin Idol and his team.
Yeah, because I mean, there was just a lot of chicanery, especially with Austin and Zion and Anthony. I did get a good kick out of at one point. when AJ was in and he knocks Zion out of the ring and then goes after Anthony. It was a little bit later than that, I should say. Anthony goes to kick AJ when AJ was in their corner, but the ref catches it and he's just like, oop, 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 oop. But Anthony, it seemed to be for a couple of split seconds, Anthony was running like a scalded dog from AJ.
Yeah, I like that.
And
Let's
I
get
would
KC props because we were kind of rough on him. I believe his match against Blunt Force Trauma, which he just sold most of the match. But I thought he did great coming in and just energized the crowd with the way he was moving around, bouncing off the ropes, where he jumped off the ropes and did the cross body, but he kind of had to turn in midair to do the cross body. I thought that was impressive, man. I thought he impressed me this match and didn't the last match. So yeah, I want to give props to him, definitely.
I think it was definitely a nice change of pace to see the big man actually selling compared to having the smaller guy, because that's normally how it is in tag team. You got the small guy, you got the big guy. The small guy is always going to sell, the big guy's there for the hot tag. It was nice to see that reversal. It was a nice change of pace, and it was just all around a great showing for every single person involved.
It's a great feud for the Country Gentlemen. I feel like it goes well because of Joe and Austin's feud, and because I don't know, because the cousins feuding as well, and them splitting up after 75. So, everything just lines up great. I want to see this feud continued in NWA, but I'd also like to see it continued in JCP, and that's a great way to promote JCP by having that, be a big feud on NWA on your CW, television show. So,
well, I hope we see more of this and a continuation of the story. There's definitely a lot of potential here that can be done. It's just a matter of will they, and if they do decide to, when will they?
Right. Exactly.
But we are going to move on to our main event of the evening. And like I stated earlier, this match was definitely a contender for match of the night, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
My God.
I don't almost don't even want to say it out loud, but I'm just shocked that WWE isn't beating down the King B's door or bringing Powerrr, because, man, they were very, very impressive tonight. They were impressive in their first match at the TV tapings, and this was hyped up for weeks here on this podcast of this match being really, really potentially great. And it did not disappoint with a dramatic finish. But go ahead, take it away.
Looking forward to this match, and I was like, okay, can they bring exactly what they brought on the first showing? And I was like, yeah, I have a good feeling about the King Bees continuing their reign of dominance. Honestly, they were very dominant in the match. It just Kylie and Ella just used dirty tactics and picked up the win. Right. And the crowd chanting new champs right at the beginning of the match, I was like, all right, this is going to be fun. And a little side bit, and I should have known better.
Right.
I was coming home on Tuesday after work, and I knew better to stay off Twitter, but I fucking went on Twitter, and the ending got spoiled for me. I was like, son of a bitch.
Oh, no. Well, it did not get spoiled for me, and I thought it was, it was a pretty cool moment. It really made you feel like the King Bees had kind of arrived. And with women's tag wrestling, it's It's okay. This is a deep. This is not a really really deep division, much like the WWE. I don't know that there is a really deep women's tag division anywhere. But when you have two teams that can work their asses off like this, you don't care to see this matchup, multiple times, or that's how I feel as a fan.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, Danny and Charity, they work so smoothly together,
That's
and just
great.
the chemistry that they have, and not only with themselves, but with Kylie and Ella, their chemistry
Yes.
just meshes very well. And now, I don't know if this is the second time that they've matched up or if they have matched up elsewhere, but these four women have just shown, hey, we can do this and we're busting our ass. And my fucking God, were they amazing.
Yeah. If I'm somebody in the big companies and I'm, like super big, like WWE, AEW, my mouth's water, especially WWE when you're trying to build a women's tag division. Um, I mean, but like I said, I hope they don't, I hope they don't see it because I'm enjoying them in NWA. Um, they're both great teams. That I mean, like this is possibly one of the better women's tag matches I've ever watched in my entire life. I mean it, and I've seen quite a few. So, but this for just work wise, this was so great, and they played to the crowd so well. Killer Bees great at selling. Kenzie Page, or not Kenzie Page. I'm sorry, Kylie.
Kylie.
She is so great at to the crowd too, man. They both are. Ella Page. They're great at fucking with the audience. I've always noticed in every one of their matches, man. And they don't quit if they can't get the crowd roll up. They just don't quit fucking with the crowd. Great heels and the Killer Bees, great baby faces, man. I mean, just hyping up the crowd. I'm actually watching this as we're talking about it, and the crowd is so invested in this match. This might have been one of the hottest the crowd had really been, maybe other than last week's Pinfalls Count Anywhere match.
Oh yeah, Tom Latimer and
Yeah.
Brian Idol. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the crowd was just really match, and hopefully that that bleeds over to the audience. They're really able to kind of recognize that, and that I feel like makes somebody more of a top star when they have that moment, that match that the crowd is really really fucking into. It transfers over to the viewer more. Like, damn, this person's a big ass star. Look how that crowd's reacting to him. That's
Mhm.
that's the feeling I got in this match for both teams too.
Yeah, I mean, they busted their ass. They showed what they're able to bring. They just did really well. And I was like, damn, even if they have another match, let's say 2 weeks later, I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still interested.
Oh yeah, I'm
I still want to
that's
go, okay.
I think about it. They can almost prolong this and almost build it a little bit towards. I mean, I don't know. August is a long ways away for NWA 76, but still, I would like to see this. I'd like to see this matchup again. To me, it's you're seeing the rubber match because they both have one fall or one win apiece. So, man, I don't know.
And here's another thing. You don't even have to have these women in a tag team match. You could do combinations of singles matches.
Absolutely, guarantee. Well, we know Green Power can work great singles matches. Killer Bees, I'm sure, just by watching their tag matches, can work a damn good thing.
Yeah, so I don't have to sit there and worry or try to think, oh, can they transfer their tag success into single success? If they can do it in tag, I damn well am confident that they can do it in singles. So it's just a matter of, do they want to draw this out till NWA 76 or are they going to do a different route? But all in all, this match was a damn good match and it deserved to be the main event. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Absolutely, it's going to go down as my match of the night. No doubt about it. I was highly impressed. I love the ending with the girls, winning the tag titles. Green Power had it for a while, and it just it was a cool feel to end NWA Power. You don't always have that kind of like special ending on Power. Sometimes it just kind of ends abruptly, or the heel ends up winning at the end. But this was a cool moment for the Killer Bees, and it felt special when they won it because the reaction on their faces, they felt like they had kind of like scratch and clawed their way to this opportunity, and they're finally getting recognized.
Hmm.
Cool moment.
And yeah, it was definitely a feel good moment. It was well deserved for the King Bees, and I'm looking forward to seeing what is not only in the King Bees future, but what is in Pretty Empowered's future.
Oh, I sense a rematch coming back. They're definitely going to dispute this loss. There's no doubt about that.
Oh yeah, there's no fucking question of that.
And what about next week's matchups? I thought I was watching a previous episode when
Yeah,
I
because I
saw
saw, what is it, Max versus Mims.
a rematch.
I was like, whoa, okay, I'm down for
I
this.
fucking excited as fuck when I saw that at the bottom of the screen. It's actually kind of the beginning of Power. The first during the first match, I was like, huh? Like I said, I was confused. I was like, what? Yeah. But yeah, I was pumped about it. I would almost like to see it built up a little bit more, but fuck, dude, I'm always excited to see Mims in action. And is the television title on the line? I don't know if I saw that it was.
Yeah, it's a television title rematch.
Oh my gosh, I am really, really excited about this. Yeah, next week is going to be great.
Yeah, so it just remains to be seen if both titles are on the line, or is it just the men's title?
Hmm. I don't know. That is interesting. No, they've got. I mean, it's one title now. Um,
Well, you could always split it back. You know,
you
you
could.
we don't know.
I
We
would
don't
rather them.
know.
That would. What would be the purpose of unifying the titles?
Just to get, I guess, the spectacle, because I
Yeah.
I honestly feel that they kind of booked themselves in a corner by there must be a winner.
All right, and then talking about next. Um, do you anticipate something to go down between the Southern Six and EC3? They kind of grouped them together when they were previewing next week's show. Kind of a thing that we kind of felt like they were going towards there. Possibly, I was thinking that possibly you go with a Max and Paler EC3 feud. You were not in favor of that, but hey, I'm all in favor for Thrillbilly EC3 feud with the Southern Six. Maybe you can bring somebody in to kind of help EC3 out, or hell, you've got a plethora of tag teams in your division to team up with EC3 to go against these guys. I guess you would have, I guess Trevor Murdoch and Knox, who are kind of feuding with him, and that's a cage match coming up at the next tapings, which we were talking about last week. They got to announce some matches, and they did.
So, I'm interested in seeing next week's episode. I really am. Because it just seems to be, ever since they moved to the CW, it's been good episode, good episode, good
Yeah.
episode, good episode, good episode. And it's just like, okay, can we keep this momentum? I sure as hell hope so. Because it's just been one right after another, after another, after another. And it's like, damn.
You think they go with Thrillbilly, or Thrillbilly and the Southern Six feuding against EC3? Did we go
Uh,
that direction next week?
that would probably be the most logical. But
Great.
skipping ahead, seeing as
Well,
the
some of our listeners, real fast, some of our listeners probably have checked out spoilers and are probably like, "You fucking idiots! That's not at all what they're doing." Or, "Yeah, that's what they're doing." But I have not checked spoilers at all. I never do. So unless I actually go to the taping.
yeah, that's like one of the good things that I've been able to do ever since getting back into wrestling over the last uh 5-6 months, especially focusing on the NWA. Staying away from spoilers as much as possible. Granted, yesterday was, or not yesterday, Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Yeah, that definitely was not a highlight of seeing the King Bees outcome get spoiled, but it was a nice thing to see. I just would have rather watched it first
Yeah,
and had that genuine surprise of like,
dude.
oh my god.
Tuesday morning, I try to get to it as soon as possible. But I'm saying like, there's probably spoilers out there with the tapings. Dothan, Alabama will have spoilers out like Sunday if you really dig. But I never really dig. I want to be surprised. I want to I want to watch it like I'm watching it live, I guess.
Mhm. Well, hey, do we want to go over hard times?
Absolutely, we got a little bit of time.
So, the NWA released yesterday or Tuesday 3 matches that are going to be happening at Hard Times. If you have not seen it, these 3 matches I think are definitely going to be interesting. So, a while back they had announced, or Thrillbilly had announced, that the cage match was going to be a main event. So, it was going to be the main event of Hard Times.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it has
Keep
been announced.
outside interference.
Mhm. And it has been announced that Knox and Murdoch versus the Southern Six with Ricky Morton will be in a tag team cage match.
Ooh.
I'm looking forward to seeing not Ricky, but Carrie's face bouncing off that cage
Absolutely.
numerous times.
That show. Damn, I wish I was going to that show.
And then we also have the NWA Women's World Championship, Kenzie Page versus Natalia Markova.
That's going to be a great match.
I agree. These two women are going to put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to mesh. Their styles will mesh really well together. I'm picturing Kenzie Page taking that spinning kick right now to the face and just selling it like gold. I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be a great matchup. I can't remember the other ones.
And well, this is the other one I was just about to cover. It is a women's tag match. La Rosa Negra and Ruthie J versus Tiffany Nieves and I am terrible with
I have
names.
seen her live many a times in Southern Honor, and I have had trouble saying her name.
I'm
Podcast.
sorry if you're listening. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce your name.
I'd have to look at it right in front of my face to be able to try to pronounce it. But yes, she is a beast. She's very, very tall, very, very long legs. I think that 99% of all males stood up out of their seat anytime she came out for her entrance. She just commands this like respect. Like, I don't know, man. She has like a presence about her. And I'm very, very excited to say. And she meshes very well with Tiffany. I think that is a fucking potential money fucking tag team.
Holy shit.
What?
So I just looked her up. Wow, that is a tall, tall woman.
Dude, when she comes out, it's like you just stop. You're just like in amazement, like, wow. And I mean, beautiful, beautiful woman.
Yeah, very beautiful and built like a brick shithouse. Holy mother
Yeah,
of God.
absolutely. And she delivers some goddamn kicks, dude. Like you would not believe they'll take a woman's head off. She feuded with Danny Jordan, who is kind of like, I don't know how you would what are you compare Danny Jordan to in Southern Honor? She's like their Hulk Hogan of their division. You know what I mean? Like she's the best of all time, and it's kind of her home, and she faces people who come in from different, or indies or whatever. So anyways, this woman came in and beat her in like 30 seconds. But the end of the story, I think Danny ended up getting the win against her. Danny's another girl I'd like to see in NWA, which she has been on NWA a few times on the tapings and stuff. So, but either way, this woman is ginormous, like tall wise. She's got a very, very cool presence about her, a very star quality, great look. Get ready. I think her and Tiffany dominate this match in a surprising win.
Well, I guess we will see what happens. They need to announce more matches, though. They really do.
Well, that's all we get. I think you got a lot of making appearances or will be there.
Yeah. Well, listen, don't tickle my taint and not let me finish. At least give me some more. I want more, goddammit.
Yeah.
More.
That we start to get at least a small build towards whatever next big match they have lined up for the world title. So I don't know. I feel like we're going to get something that happens between EC3 and Thrill Billy. That's something I look to happen next week, where they start that, and then maybe bring up the past where EC3 defeated Thrill Billy for oh my God, what title was it? Was it the television? I can't remember. No, it was
National.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Here, I'll look it up.
I don't know. I'm bad about remembering my history.
I got you, boo.
All right.
That's the wrong one. No, EC3 defeated Scion. Because so we'll do from when it was vacated, vacated in May 25th of 2021. Chris Adonis, then Anthony Mayweather, then Jax Dane, Scion, EC3. Then it was vacated, and then Thrill Billy.
What does this NWA USA come on now that they've got this deal with CW? Did it just go away? Is it on YouTube?
I haven't.
It seems to have like a lot of their younger talent on there, so I'm kind of like, damn.
Well, it was, if I'm not mistaken, NWA USA was mostly focused on like the junior heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, somebody feel free to correct my stupid ass, but
that's a match.
I feel that's what it was.
Colby Carino will be in action once again. I'm always excited to see this guy in action. He always puts on a good match, always tries to steal the show. And he's facing one of the clowns from, oh my God. Violent J's crew.
I think he's challenging Yabo. I don't know.
I can't remember, man. Oh my! I get both of them confused, but hopefully this will help solidify him as a singles competitor, and I'll remember his name. Another fucking clown. He's another fucking clown.
Oh my God!
Hey, I love the gimmick. I love the clown gimmick. I know you don't care for it, but I like it.
I don't.
Well, now he's facing, both of them have feuded with Vampiro and Violent J's crew. So it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe you get Mecha Wolf comes down at some point, or do we get a continuation with Homicide teasing that he wants a title match?
I feel like more than likely we're going to get a Homicide match.
Possibly. I don't know. They didn't say anything about him being there, but he could come down or whatever. I don't know. A lot of potential for next week's show. And the
take. It's a swerve, bro.
It's a swerve, bro. Oh, what if they hired Vince Russo? Would you quit watching NWA Power?
Yep.
That easy. You just fucking I'm not watching it anymore.
Yep.
I'd give it a try. But as soon as weird shit started happening,
I'm sorry, Vince Russo and anything, I'm immediately going, fuck this shit, I'm out.
I am so, like, before we end this broadcast, my thoughts on Vince Russo randomly as fuck, but he wrote one of the best one-night shows I've ever seen in my entire life, and my very favorite Survivor Series ever. Survivor Series 1998 was one of the most fantastic fucking shows I've ever seen live. And the storytelling was some of the best storytelling that I'd ever seen. And if somebody wants to go back and watch that, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I think Vince Russo with a filter can be pretty damn good, and he's good at getting. I guess he's good at getting everybody over, or trying to at least. But his thoughts on wrestling are just a little bit different than mine, or I would say the majority of wrestling fans and wrestlers, because he looks at it as purely a television show instead of like a sports television show where you have to have elements of realism for people to believe there's disbelief. This guy is like, suspend your disbelief that my commentator is going to come out as a space alien.
I'm going to
Today,
plead.
he pitched that. He wanted Mike Tenay to be a fucking space alien.
I'm just going to not let you know and date yourself there, pal, on when Survivor Series 1998 happened.
Fucking go back and watch it. It's fantastic.
I mean, I've seen Deadly Games. I've seen it.
Like my age more than your age, buddy. So they got my back.
Trey, I was 3.5 months old.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Most of the fan base knows what I'm talking about with the 98 shit. They were old enough to remember.
Yeah, November 15th, 1998. I was three months, and it was like
Oh my
5
God.
days away from being being 4 months. Fuck.
I was at my buddy's house watching it live on pay-per-view, eating pizza or whatever. Just thought it was the coolest shit. Great fucking show, man. I'm just saying. Great fucking show. Go back and watch it, dude.
I've seen Deadly Games.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, trust me.
Great show.
I used to spend a lot of time watching pro wrestling instead of doing my fucking schoolwork.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
I mean, just to show you how much of a old school wrestling fan I am. I shouldn't say old school. Like, it's old school to me. I was only a couple months old, but you know, I have an Undertaker tattoo on my right fucking forearm.
Oh man, yeah, he was in that tournament. I think Kane had a draw.
Here, I can pull it up. Nope. Taker beat Kane in 7 minutes and 16 seconds.
Where did he get fucked over at? Because it ends up being Mankind and The Rock in the end.
Semifinals.
Swerve, bro, at the end. We get that swerve at the end, bro.
Yep. Semifinals, it was Rock and The Undertaker, and it ended in a DQ in 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
Oh, that's right.
And then Mankind pinned Stone Cold in 10 minutes and 27 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because The Rock had 4 matches that night.
Yeah. I love the swerve at the end, bro. Because The Rock was a face going into that match. Mankind was supposed to be a heel, but he was like a sympathetic heel that the fans were starting to really like. And they turned The Rock heel and turned Mankind, solidify him as a baby face. And he was with the corporation the whole time. It was a great piece of writing. I will hand it to Vince Russo on that night.
Jesus, so I'm looking at the results for this show. There were 18 matches in total that night
On Deadly Games.
So there was the dark match that was Too Much defeating the Hardy Boys. Do you know who Too Much is?
Is that Brian Christopher and Scotty Too Hottie?
Yep, it was just Scott Taylor and Brian Christopher.
Yes.
And then Heat was the Job Squad, Bob Holly, and Scorpio with Al Snow defeating the Legion of Doom, Animal and Draws.
Job Squad beat Legion of Doom that night?
Yeah, well, it was Animal and Draws.
Oh,
and it was in 2 minutes and 17 seconds.
Lame.
And then match number 2 for Heat was Val Venus defeats Tiger Ali Singh with Babu in 2:36.
Yawn.
And then the last match for Heat was Gangrel with Edge and Christian defeating Steve Blackman.
Hey, so Gangrel does a lot of stuff with CCW.
Yeah, he's the head trainer there.
Okay, so CCW is not an official territory of NWA. Would it kill him just to bring out fucking Vampire Warrior, Gangrel, whatever you want to fucking call him? Would make a nice cameo on Power. God, that would fucking make me pop.
Not,
Always
I would even, not even just doing it on a Power, doing it on pay-per-view. I think he would really show well because despite him being, how old is Gangrel? He can still fucking go. He's 55.
Whoa.
Yep,
Yeah.
February 16th, 1969. 69.
Well, but yeah, what about, as we're mentioning random wrestling news, let's talk about, and it kind of relates to NWA, the Headbangers who wrestled at Salwin against the Southern Six. These guys just signed a deal with WWE, a Legends contract, and will be in the new WWE video game. So, congratulations to the Headbangers who are still wrestling to this day. It's impressive. Good for those guys.
Yeah, no kidding.
They're going to be on the Dubba Dubba game.
WWE game. I don't know. I'm debating on buying
Oh
it.
my god, I'm getting it.
Dude,
Next month, there's a point next month. I'm taking off some days when the show and WWE are both out, and I'm going to play some motherfucking video games.
yeah, I already took March 15th off so I could play MLB The Show. I told my boss, I was like, because rarely do I ever take off for work. So my boss was like, you know what? I was like, let me have this. Let me have this one goddamn day. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, fine. But yeah, March 14th at 11 p.m., MLB The Show drops.
Oh god.
March 13th at 11 p.m. for at least me in Central Time. The original Star Wars Battlefront 1
Yeah.
and Battlefront 2
Ooh, those
release.
are very good. Those are very good games.
And then
Dubba Dubba
WWE release.
at March 5th if you get the early release pre-order. But yeah, there is quite a bit of goodies coming out in the next few. And then for me, who I'm a giant college football fan, that drops in July, or August or July, I can't
Yeah,
remember. I am fucking pumped for this year's games.
you and the Southerners and
Yeah,
their fucking college football.
Texas.
I don't understand it.
It's Texas, and there's like the Bible Belt that are just like college football is like fucking religious. Like if you're not watching college football on Saturdays, it's like, what's wrong with you? Like even the women get really, really into it. Like it's religious down here, man. I mean, it is crazy.
I've got
People,
better things to
people
do on
get
a Saturday than watch fucking football.
like they fucking went to the school. Like I've seen several fights at my work, people getting into it about college football. I'm not shitting you. Not me. I've never really gave a shit. I love it when people are like, when my team loses, they're like, what happened Saturday, huh? I was like, I don't know. I'm not the fucking coach. I watched it just like you, motherfucker. I wasn't playing out there on the fucking field. Like,
I do that shit, but it's like NFL football for me because
I love NFL football, but
well,
not college. College football just hits different.
well, I'm not that much of a football fan. I much prefer baseball. Love baseball more than
I love
anything.
baseball too. It was my first love.
So, me being in Wisconsin, I'm surrounded by Packers fans.
Mm-hmm.
Surrounded, and I don't give a shit about the Packers.
Right.
My team is the San Francisco 49ers due to my dad being from California. That was what he grew up on, so that's just what I grew up on.
Right.
And it's always kind of running joke that the Packers cannot beat the Niners when it comes to divisional rounds or championship games.
Seems to be that way.
And I just like when we beat the Packers to go to the Super Bowl, I posted a picture. It was when Patrick and Squidward were trying to go jellyfishing, and Squidward was all bandaged up and he couldn't hold the jellyfish pole. And Patrick was like, firmly grasp it. And instead of it being a jellyfish pole, it was a big L. Squidward was wearing a Packers hat, and Patrick was wearing a Niners hat. I tell you, the amount of shit that I received when I posted that, and then when the Niners lost the Super Bowl. They're like, "Oh, I bet you're all depressed that the Niners lost." No, I don't give a fuck. It'd
No.
been nice to see them win, but you know what?
Well, like I'll tell you what, when the Falcons lost in the Super Bowl to the Patriots,
That
when
had to have been
we were up 28,
heartbreaking.
that was the biggest Super Bowl fail ever, or fall from grace. It was just, oh my God. When we got up, and I was acting like an ass too. I was like, oh, that's it. The great Tom Brady's done with. And I was like, I was starting to drink. I was being obnoxious. Go Falcons. And then I'm like, wait, what's happening? Stop it. Stop it. Run the clock out. Stop. No. Yeah, it was terrible. God damn, that was terrible.
I
I'll
remember
never
watching
forget
that
the
game.
Falcons for that shit until they win a Super Bowl. Never. Fucking assholes. Oh, and one more thing. While we're just talking about random fucking sports on an NWA wrestling podcast, what about the we need a fucking podcast where we just talk about random shit, by the way.
We can do that.
What about Nashville getting possibly an MLB team? I'm all for that shit.
So that's the thing is Rob Manfred wants to expand the MLB because you know his tenure ends up in 2029.
Right?
And what he wants to do, so currently right now there are 30 teams in the MLB.
Yes.
He wants to expand it to 36.
Yes. I've read
So
that too.
either one team is going to have to go into each division, or they're going to have to make
a brand new division.
Yep, a brand new division, and then
that doesn't work if you're trying to like what I don't know. What do you call a brand new? You've covered everything.
So you have
Central, East, West.
Yeah, so it almost have to be North, South, East, and West.
Yeah,
but so. It's too much football-esque.
Oh man, yeah, that's a conundrum. But man, I would really love to see a Nashville team. I'm really a huge fan of Nashville, the city in general. Like I'm always going to be an Atlanta fan for most sports. I love the Atlanta Braves. Of course, I'm also a Chicago Cubs fan. That is the only sport where I have two favorite teams, by the way.
Fuck you.
What?
I can respect the goddamn Braves. I grew up watching the Braves.
Well, you don't like the man. Why are you being so mean to the lovable losers?
Because come on, they're in my division. Okay, they're in the Brewers division.
I understand that, but we've never really
fuck the Cubs.
When y'all have been good, we haven't been that much of a threat. So,
listen, if we can make it out of the wild card or the NLDS,
that'd
be great.
You know what I always loved about the Milwaukee Brewers Stadium back in the day was when the dude would slide down to the fucking beer glass. Oh. That was fucking awesome.
Oh, Bernie, he still does that.
I know. I'm just saying. That was a memory when I was a kid. I mean, they were doing that when I was a kid.
And yeah, because they had it they had it in Milwaukee County, and then when they were building, at the time it was Miller Park. You know, they had to add it because it's just one of those notorious things for Milwaukee, and like for years they didn't do it, or it was weird, and then they finally brought it back. My favorite thing is when the Dodgers were in Milwaukee. I want to say it was like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And the fucking announcer for the Dodgers went down the slide. He broke his arm.
Ooh.
Yeah, he went down the slide and didn't. He had just had too much momentum, and he ended up running into the wall and broke his arm.
Ouch.
I thought that was the most hilarious fucking thing ever.
God,
I mean, not that the dude broke his arm, but the fact that you just had way too much momentum and just ran full fucking force into that wall.
You know the movie 42?
Love that movie.
They filmed all of the action baseball scenes at the old Lookout Stadium that's like 20 minutes from me, Ingle Stadium, historic Ingle Stadium. I thought that was really fucking cool. Very old ballpark. They still do college games at, but the Lookouts have since moved on and got a new stadium downtown, AT&T Field, which is a great stadium, but they're fixing to get another brand new stadium.
Jesus.
Dude, we won like back-to-back Southern championships. They're very popular right now. AA baseball, or at least the Lookouts, anyways, have seen a spike in attendance. Anytime I go, there's always a good crowd.
Have you been to a Sounds game?
Sounds game? Oh, no, I have not. Nope.
Oh.
Nope, that's Nashville, right?
Yep, that's Nashville Sounds, because that's
that's AAA, right?
Yeah, that's Brewers affiliate.
No, but we could, if you ever come through here and you want a vacation in this area, we will fucking plan, and it'll have to be in the summer. We'll plan a fucking baseball, extravaganza. We'll go to the Brave Stadium. We'll go to the Sounds game if we can, and we'll go to a Chattanooga Lookouts game. All very far from my house.
There might be a possibility in 2025 that we're going to be taking a family vacation up down to Pigeon Forge.
Oh my God, that's very close. Yeah, that's like 3 hours from me. That's
so.
That'd be awesome. We vacation there every once in a while too, so that would be cool. And then fuck our friend Robert, our mutual friend Robert Haywood, Asheville, not far from me now, 3 hours from me, dude. I'd like to go bug him, but he'd probably be taking a nap. I couldn't help myself.
Jesus,
fuck him, he's not listening.
That's true. But anyway, dude,
hey, put this on as an extra bonus, as like an Easter egg. A couple of moments of 30 seconds of silence, bam, you got this extra content from us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna fucking I'll edit it, get it that way, and then actually I kind of wouldn't mind doing just a shoot the shit kind of sports podcast as well. Fuck, god damn it, we're getting into too many podcasts.
I know. Yeah, I would love to do the one where it's like we just talk about movies and fucking sports and just bullshit. My brother's been dying for me to do that. And I guess Eli now, formerly known as Lee Jones, the artist formerly known as Lee Jones, he could do a very good like movie critique of something or whatever. Talked about that with him a couple of times. My brother also he should have been a movie critic. Like, he really breaks down movies well and has a good knack for it. It'd be fun to have people like that on the show and discuss like movies that just came out or something.
Yeah, I got a good buddy of mine. Christ, I've got a buddy of mine, Dylan. That's all he fucking lives and breathes. He lives and breathes, anything Batman or anything superhero-esque. So yeah, we could definitely do that.
That would be a fun little just bonus podcast just to be putting out there. It'd be, I don't know.
Yeah, we could do a separate podcast here and there just for shits and giggles.
What would we call Night and Trey's Interest?
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. The whatever podcast.
Yeah, the whatever the fuck is going on and talked about in this episode. But anyway, dude, I'm gonna let you go because I'm gonna continue doing some
it's a show about nothing, like Seinfeld. All right, dude. Yeah, we'll reconvene. We'll try to get it out, the Power podcast Tuesday. Yep. We hope our listeners enjoyed this extra bonus content where we talk about MLB baseball and sports and just random shit.
Yeah. Well, everybody, we appreciate you for listening in to our 20 minutes of shenanigans. So until next time, we will see you later.
Out.